Welcome to Michelle's Opinions.
Hey guys, welcome to Michelle's Opinions. Let me pull it up where I can see the chat, and we will be off to the races. I'm sorry for the pushback, guys. Things happen, but I'm here now. I've taken some notes, and this may actually lead into a call-in show. Depending on what's going on. First, let's check my sound and make sure we're not getting a feedback loop of any kind. And or echoing, so we can hammer that out really quick. So, and if you're in the room, say hello, so we know you're here. And I did take notes on what we're going to talk about tonight, because if I want to provoke thought, triggers, anger, emotion, and why we, feel these things, and what's really going on. Hold on a second. I lost my connection. Okay. Hey, Rainbow Phoenix. Looks like Megan Brown. You guys are getting me all natural. It is so hot. I mean, it's 98 degrees still, and so no makeup, just raw me tonight. But yeah, I have some interesting things I want to get into. And, for us to look into ourselves and to examine, why we feel the way we do, some of the things that we say and do, or, try to impose onto others. And, is that being respectful of them? And maybe it's a time to reflect on why we feel that way. Natural look, yeah. it's just me. Hi, Lee. So, yeah, I was just over there with her in at Josie's place, and I just like her stream so much, and just the people over there are just wonderful. Yeah, I pushed this one back a little bit to spend a little more time over there. But, and plus it was like still like 9900 degrees out here, and it's like, ah. So, I take my shower and just let it come out here and just let it dry. And really, Baxter, I've got the air conditioner in here going, but if you're gonna make a bunch of noise. Aw, he went and got in his bed. He's such a good boy. So anyways, here's, okay, I've taken some notes, and tonight may ruffle some feathers, but sometimes the tough questions we ask ourselves give us the best growth. Nobody seems to be complaining that my sound is too low. Were you guys able to hear the intro okay? Because I can't hear it when it's playing. I don't know why. And if I need to, I can turn off the desktop with the second audio that should bring it out in stereo. But, and when we get to the part where we could possibly take some calls, there's a couple of ways that we can do that. And let's hammer that out now. You can go into the your Gmail, and you know how you set up a Google Hangout, and you can call somebody individually. I think those calls can be piped through the same way as calling the phone number. But, through trial and error, we will figure this out. Hello, Dominique, Yellow Sun. Welcome. Okay. triggers that create a response. You know, what is it that what some people say really can trigger another person or hurt another person? A lot of times when people um, say something to somebody, I don't think their intentions are bad. I think that they have, some information within them that's still a bit scary, where they're still in the dogmas of taste not, touch not, and they're afraid. And their fear spills over, and then they apply their beliefs through their fears onto another, projecting. And then what happens as the conversation goes is one's projecting their beliefs out of fear onto another. The other is rejecting that, and it becomes, an altercation. And then no matter what information, good information, solid truths that are coming out from either side, neither one are hearing them anymore, because they're too busy trying to prove their point now and why they feel the way they feel, that they're no longer even having a conversation anymore with the other person. So, and this is not a one person show here, guys. I want you guys to, tell me what you think about this stuff. I want everybody to be free thinkers. And be free thinkers without imposing ourselves onto others, respecting their sovereignty as we want our sovereignty to be respected. So, these are just things that I've witnessed, I've been through myself. So, I can understand it, I could see it. And naturally, I think that these gifts, as they're opened up to me, they're opened up to everyone. But, I got an odd phone call, not to birdwalk, but my brother, that's in Oklahoma, called me today. He watches my channel every once in a while. And he said, why don't you just start doing readings for people? And I'm like, what do you mean readings for people? Well, there's been several occasions where he's, talked to me about things, and I've told him what's going to happen. I've actually had to ask him a few times, if he would just step out of the way and let me do some work here, so that way we could get the desired results, and they've come to pass. So, and I think that there's nothing going on within me that can't be going on with everybody else. But apparently, with part of this intuition and these gifts opening up, he said that to me today because I have told him things and they have come to pass. So he thinks of me that I can read, what did he say? Like, he said it in a funny way about like a psychic hotline or something like that, except for my stuff comes true. My brother, he just makes me laugh. Hi, Darla Dawn. Hi, Fire Earth. Hi, Pre. Okay. Next thing. Okay. This is gonna, I'm telling you, this is to provoke to thought. Why is money deemed evil? Why is it that we think that none of us should be able to thrive and make a living at the work of our hands that we're doing? Why should we give everything away when everybody else is charging us? What has put that into our mind? Because money is just something we use for exchange. Now, it can be used for good or bad. But if we're not helping each other out and lifting each other up, all we're doing is feeding it back into the system, back into taxes, back into, bills and the monotony, where we could be helping each other out. So we got to lift that taboo on money. It's not a bad thing. It's just how you apply it. If you are authentic and honest and using it for the benefit of everybody else, to be in service to everybody else, it's not a bad thing. It's just not a bad thing. Let's see. Darla Dawn 222, I've always been very sensitive, but I have learned that other people's opinions and judgment say more about them than anyone else. And this is true. That's what, that's what we're diving into here, is when people get triggered. I don't think they mean it in a harmful way. But like I said, what happens is neither party is listening to the other one anymore. They're out. They're more into proving that their way is right rather than listening to truths coming from the other individual and coming to the realization that neither of them have it 100% right. It's somewhere in the middle. I'm not into fear-mongering. I'm not afraid to look upon things and admire the beauty. And there's other things going on. It's just okay, let's get to the nuts and bolts of it. Christians believe that their way is the only way. Muslims believe that their way is the only way. Pretty much all religions believe that their way is the only way. Okay, they've got the truth. They have the capital on the truth, and that there's no one else that knows it but them. And a lot of times, they're the ones that are honestly the most lost. And I mean that from heartfelt, as a Christian upbringing. I'll tell you, to call myself a Christian, I would call myself a follower of Christ and his teachings. He was against the Sadducees and Pharisees. He was against the temple tax. He was against, that they were worshiping from a book instead of the living God, creator. There's, like, he was a rebel in his own time, rebelling against the system, trying to show people who they truly were. That's how I look at Christ. He went through his wilderness journey. He went through his refinement period. He's went from glory to glory. He could perform miracles and all these things. I believe it. But I also believe in his teachings. So if you look at what he's saying versus what the church is saying, they're opposite. They're absolutely opposite. So, like I said, this is to provoke thought, guys. I want people to think for themselves. I'm not wanting you to agree with me. I'm not wanting you to disagree with me. I'm just wanting to provoke thought in people so you can become sovereign, free, and to the point where there is a universal law. Universal law is more than capable of correcting us. And if we're out of line or off base in somehow or some way, the universe will correct us one way or another. So to think that we need to judge or shame or try to force our will onto other people, then we're not moving along with the spirit and the flow of unconditional love, sovereignty, respect for one another. So, we're coming out of that paradigm of duality. And I've said it often, we're coming into the age of Aquarius, and Christ himself said, follow the water bearer. That's what we're doing. We're coming out of that age and we're going into a new one, and it's beautiful. And as the unveilings are being done, we're being restored, refined. It's a beautiful process. Not an easy one. It wasn't for me. It could be for you. I don't know. But it wasn't for me. But at least I can think for myself now. And I'm able to discern. And I want that for everybody. Because it is for everybody. Okay. Why is my religion so polarized and keeps us under a spell? of control structure. We must depolarize, but not all Christians are the same. No, that's exactly right, Darla Dawn. Yes, put a blanket judgment onto one or the other. What I'm doing is provoking thought. Provoking thought. I'm talking mainly about the fundamentalists that will browbeat you with the Bible and tell you that they know the way, when you're going through your refinement period or having your Kundalini spiritual awakening, Holy Spirit baptism, and you're going through it yourself and your eyes are being opened up and you're realizing who and what you are. The last thing you need is somebody coming and beating you down with the Bible, trying to put you back into subservience. Hey, meditation man. Sorry you ran out of gas. Glad you were at your destination when you ran out of gas, though. The universe always has a purpose, and you were meeting up with someone able to bring you gas. Talk about, synchronicities, divine appointments, and your needs were taken care of. Okay. The next one I have. Okay. When do we become angry with each other? What happens is, I was talking about that, is anyone listening to what evidence is provided. When we become angry with each other, we're no longer listening to that other person. We built a wall up. Whether they have a good thing to say or good argument to add or a good display. If you come at people in a way that kind of belittles them, or it puts out the my way is the only way, then people do build up walls against that kind of stuff, especially since we're all going through this hand in hand together. So, think about these things, guys. Just think about it and how we come across to each other. We'll tell on ourselves through our own words, whether we're using condemnation on people, fear tactics, threats, things like that. Well, we still got a little bit of things to go through ourselves. And you know what? That's okay. Just understand that when you look around at people, they're a mirror reflection. When your mirror is getting clearer and clearer, your vision becomes clearer and clearer, and what happens in the micro starts reflecting in the macro around us. It's wonderful. Excuse me. Okay, and like I said, I have it set up where we can do a call-in. We'll just play it by ear. You guys know I will be out of pocket this whole week. I'm going down to take care of my mom. She's having a procedure done. So I have some videos to drop on the Master Number series, so you'll be getting those. And I may drop from my phone, some progress notes on what's going on for prayer and things like that for you guys. I don't know how to use my phone as well. I know how to make a video and just drop it. I don't know how to do anything else with it. Hi, Pea Coffee. How are you? Hey, Seeker. Okay. Oh, I lost mine. Okay. What these emotional reactions could be saying about us when we're emotionally lashing out at each other using anger, or we're hurt, or we're feeling anxiety, that means there's something amiss there. Something's not going right. That's our senses warning us. It's like, warning, Will Robertson. Warning, these senses, these emotions, these intuitions that we have are warning systems for us. It's been said by many people in the medical field that stress is the #1 killer. So if you're feeling these kind of emotions, and they're coming up out of you, we've got to be careful, because we're harming ourselves. So something else to think about. Um, and then, yeah, what these emotional reactions could be saying about us. We tell on ourselves by the way we act and the way we react and respond to others. If we coil back, if we fight, if we try to shove a belief down somebody's throat, it says a lot about us. I want freedom for everyone. I want free thinkers. I want sovereign leadership. I'll give you the tools that I've gotten my tool belt from the journey that I went through. But it is a narrow path because you're on it yourself. Each refinement period, we all have different things we need to work on. So just say one size fits all? Guys, think bigger. Take those, like the horse blinders that keep them going straight ahead. Take them off and widen out what you're thinking. Broaden your perspectives. If there's, I think that's in my notes. I'll go in order here. Okay. How can we move past the way our or no way arguments? Okay, how can we move past the our way? Oh, okay. My own notes. I can't read them. I tell you guys, it's so hot. Oh, it just went down to 97. Okay, how do we move past the it's our way or no way argument? How do we move past that, guys? I'm trying to keep up with you guys in there too. Sorry about my dog. What solutions can you guys think about? Here's some examples that I wrote down. Baxter. Oh, come on. Be a good boy. Be a good boy. Okay. What solutions can you guys think about? Okay, number one, look in the mirror and say what upsets you or upsets another to yourself. So if you said something, judgmental or Baxter, be careful. Judgmental. Oh my gosh, he's a mess. He's over here moving everything around. Do you want to go outside? Do you need to go outside? Don't jump up on me. Don't mess with the equipment. Daddy get mad at you. He spent lots and lots of money. Can't afford to get new. Okay. What solutions can you guys come up with? Okay. One, look in the mirror and say to yourself in the mirror what you said to that other person. And see how that would feel to yourself if somebody presented themselves that way to you. And then hopefully that can be a good tool for you to understand on better communication skills with other people and accepting and having an actual conversation and sharing and learning the beauty within one another, okay? Number two, if you have a completely different upbringing than another, how can we make a blanket judgment, right? I mean, we just cannot do that. You cannot make a blanket judgment on a culture when you were brought up into another culture. You don't know what they know. You don't know the beauty of their culture. You don't have an understanding. So how can you make a judgment on it? These are thought-provoking things, guys. Provoking thought, okay? Number three, if a person has 10 qualities and 9 of them you don't like and 1 is good, focus on that 1 good quality. The 9 will fall away. Think about it. Think about it. Each and every one of us have 1 good quality in us. We have so much more in common than we'll ever have that separates us. Okay, that's what I have for my notes on thought-provoking scenarios, guys. We got to really think, why would we want to pressure somebody into our belief structure? Is it out of fear? Is it out of our own anxiety? You understand what I'm trying to say? Do you guys want me to open up the phone lines so people can call in? Darla Dawn, you want to call in? And like I said, I'm thinking that with like in Google, if you use my email address and add and make one of those private little hangout things and call, I'll hear the call. If I'm on the phone or whatever, then I'll call you back. Just listen for it and then make sure you turn your sound down on your computer. So, you guys want to try to take some calls? We can do it. We can do it. Let's see what we got here. There we go. The number is now up. You can call if you're in the United States. Just use your cell phone, home phone, whatever. It'll go right through. If you're in another country, try using Google Hangouts, and we'll see if that works. It should. So, and if you go to Google, it's like in your email, your Google email. You go to your Google email and you go, there's a section in there where you can, add, and it's for personal, like FaceTime would be for Facebook, but it's for Google. And you type in my email address, it'll have me pop up, and then you add it, and you can call that way, and we'll see if we can pipe that through. Hi, Bob. Max Vision. We got some new names in here. Welcome, guys. Welcome. What other things divide people? What if I was to tell you, if I walked up to you and said, hey, the Republicans are blue and the Democrats are red. And you told me, no, the Republicans are red and the Democrats are blue. But then I kept saying, yeah, you're right. The Republicans are blue and the Democrats are red. Get it? Oh, shoot. Okay, Darla Dawn. Thank you. I need to turn my ringer on. Try again, sweetie. I did not set up any protectors. I'm trusting you guys to do what is proper and what is right. You're live on Michelle's Opinions.
Hi, Michelle. This is Darla.
Hi, Darla. Darla Dawn. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. A little nervous about what's going to go on with my mom, but otherwise I'm doing really well. No. Yeah, but
can I ask what the procedure is? I don't know if you mentioned it. I can't remember.
She's having major surgery. It's called a hiatal hernia. They've known about it for about 25 years, but were unable to take it out. They didn't know how. So apparently they're able to do that now, but it would have been nice if it would have been done 25 years ago when she was younger. But I think she's going to pull through like a champ. I'm going to go down there and make sure everything goes well. I'm mainly going to be there to help keep my dad calm. If errands need to be run, medications need to be picked up, that my mother will not be left alone. He worries so much about her. So,
Can I have your permission to send her positive energy?
Absolutely.
Or at least love?
Of course.
Great. I always like to ask.
Of course. Well, yeah. And isn't that kind of sad? That's thought-provoking in itself. That to send somebody good blessings and good tidings and want the best for them, that you feel like you have to ask permission.
Well, some cultures do say that you have to because of free will, and maybe it is in their it was part of their agreement coming here. So I don't know. I just always feel best asking, just because some cultures. I practice with the Lakota. I go to sweat lodges, and when I was talking to the woman who pours our lodge, she said, when I was talking about sending energy, she said not to ever do that without the person's permission.
And it's funny that you say that. I want to make sure, can you guys hear Darla Dawn okay in the chat? Is the sound coming through really good? Also.
Yeah, let me know, because I'm also using earbuds. I can take them out if need be.
Well, I'm hearing you fine. I just want to make sure that they are. I did have to ask. I didn't have to. I did ask my brother, because it was him that was in his own way of. Great Seeker says she can hear us both. Great, wonderful. I did ask him because he was in his own way, and so I did ask permission in that regard, because he was in his own way. I told him, you're in your own way. You're the one causing this to happen, and in order for it to stop, I'm going to have to ask you if I can overpower or overshadow or send over the help that you need for this to go through, because it was something that was very scary, a situation. He gets really anxious and very nervous, and he always will think the worst. And when you think the worst, you're always your worst enemy. So I had to tell him what the outcome was going to be. But then I had to tell him that he was in his own way, and to just allow me to do what I need to do. And he couldn't believe how fast everything got lined out after everything was such a huge debacle mess. That's why he called me today and told me, you should be like a psychic. I was like, oh, come on. I mean, he's just, but see, these abilities are coming up in each and every one of us. And, you know, people that I have not stepped into theirs, aren't questioning what's going on, or, you know, it doesn't mean they're hopeless. They're still observing people that are walking the walk that they talk, and seeing the results in their own lives by shining some light. Light, unconditional love, for the best of intentions to work out for him was all I did, and in record time, something he had been personally battling for several months. All of a sudden, within a couple weeks, everything was all zipped up and done. So, yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I suppose we can also ask their higher self, and if that energy is accepted by their, you know, whatever contracts they have, then maybe that's another way to do it, if you can't ask the person.
That's right. And I think we're all tethered together, you know, especially when it comes to family members and stuff. We're corded together, like the, you know, I do the flower of life, how we overlay each other and we can influence each other. And since he was my brother, so that made it a little easier for me, and he trusts me that I would never have ill intentions. I would only have the best for him. So he's like, yeah, sure. I mean, he nonchalantly, yeah, sure, whatever type of thing, right? And then 2 weeks later, calling me about to burst because everything went through. And then this was a few months ago when this happened for him. And then today saying, I've been watching some of your videos and you should be like, well, he called me that lady that was on those psychic commercials. Called his psychic hotline. I was like, oh my gosh. It's just.
I did that when I was like 9 years old. It was a 1-800 number, so I thought I would call it. And then they keep you, they give you a certain amount of time. They keep you on the phone, and they kept asking me stupid questions like, what's your address, what's your phone number? And I'm like starting to sweat thinking, oh my God, 'cause my mom didn't know I was calling. She was at work. Maybe I was 10. And finally I get someone on the phone, and then my time is up. We got a $30 bill, and my mom made me do chores to pay it off.
Oh, yeah. It's those 900 numbers.
No, it was an 800. Oh, wait, maybe it was a 900 number, but they started doing that with 800 numbers too.
That's
I mean,
terrible.
this was like in the late
It does.
80s, early 90s.
It shows up on your phone bill, and yeah, no. I mean,
Oh, I was in so much trouble.
oh, and if you're truly gifted, you know, people donating and helping you out is one thing, but to hoodwink people, you know, into that kind of stuff is wrong. They've given so many things bad names, which are actually these beautiful gifts that are being stirred up in so many people. It's amazing. So what do you got going on, since we've been all on the right side of the sun? Have you seen anybody going a little bonkers and people acting a little silly lately?
So much, especially with driving, traffic. I see a lot of road rage, people cutting people off, just being erratic. But I'm seeing both sides. Like, I see some people who are really in their zone, who are very in their heart, and then other people who are a little more chaotic. I'm seeing a gamut, like just everything. How about you?
I'm just watching people lose it, you know. That last call-in show that I did was completely, I don't know if you were there, but it was interesting, to say the least. Now, I went through and cleaned up the chat. I did have, and I've got her in there now, Mel's Table
Was that
Talk.
the one where there was somebody that was preaching at people?
No. They were just wanting to say foul language and rapping terrible songs.
Oh, no, I didn't see. I missed that one.
It's up. I left it up because I think it's good for people to see the way they're behaving. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I did was I cleaned up the chat because, we don't need to. And we really couldn't. I did disconnect very quickly. Like right now, I'm not even on the phone section with you because I know I don't need to hang up on you. But I didn't leave the phone section because as soon as they started, I clicked, and tried to keep things very peaceful and calm. But, it just seems like they're coming out of the woodworks in droves, but we got to be understanding that it's like a purging process. Everybody's going through this upheaval where a lot of us have had a lot of time to go through this. It seems like since we've moved over, to the other side, that a lot is going on simultaneously within a lot of people. And the dates have actually had significant meaning to me. The 19th, a friend of mine that in Oklahoma, he's only 57, was in good health, woke up, dropped dead on the 19th.
Oh, gosh.
And then my mother's having surgery on what Lisa was talking about, the 31st. And she's having her surgery around noon. And that's what time and date that Lisa said. But I think she said 12:30 something a.m., which would be the middle of the night, where this would be p.m. For my mom, since it's, afternoon. But wow, I mean, it's just...
Lori Lothian's most recent video, which I want to say was about an hour ago, she thinks that there's just going to be a major wave, but it's not really going to, that there's not going to be an end, like Lisa M has been saying. And actually, she wasn't even that committed, according to Lori, and just said that it's kind of, everybody's been talking about it and spreading it around, but that Lori thinks that it's just going to be another maybe massive wave, but not where it's going to be the event necessarily. I don't think there's going to be one event anyhow. I think it's just going to keep coming and coming and coming and coming.
Well, that's right. I think the same thing. What I would call the event for me was in October of 2012. Then I had that spiritual, or I called it Holy Spirit baptism. I spoke in different languages. I felt purified. Others would call it a kundalini or a chakra system wake up. Their third eye popped open. And then after that is a process of, of growth and refinement and getting rid of the purging out the lies, basically, and allowing the truth to come in. So I would call that an event. So to say the event is on one certain day or something of that manner, people are going through these events, you know, daily. But again, that's provoking thought. I want people to think for themselves and seek for themselves, and yeah, interesting perspective. So I do think that we're getting bombarded with energy. I do think we're being assisted. We are being moved along with some divine help, whether it be called an energy wave or whatever is coming in. We're feeling it, we're responding to it, and now obviously we're seeing a lot of people, like you're talking road rage and issues going on. I'm seeing those things too, but at least we know we can rise above it and observe it for what it is.
I had a really profound experience last weekend. I went and did a solitary retreat up north. I went to this cabin, and inside this cabin, on this land, you could really feel the spirit of the land. You could just feel her spirit, and I felt like I was in a world between worlds, and this has never happened to me before. And then don't let me forget, there's something else I want to share with you about truth and something else that's going on right now. But it was like a meditation, and suddenly it was like dreaming while awake. And I feel like, I'm going to sound crazy here, and I don't even know how to explain this, because every time I went to write it down, I was thrown into another one. But I think I was on another timeline. So it felt like a dream, but I was awake. I was suddenly thinking, oh my gosh, I have to leave. I have to take my son to, I can't remember where, either summer school for his grades or somewhere. And then I come to and I'm like, wait, I'm in a cabin. Hold on, I don't have a son. I don't even have kids. But it felt so real. And then it would happen again. And that's the only scenario I remember. And I'd go to write it down. And I'm like, how do I write this down? And then it would happen again. And then I had this epiphany. Like, these things that keep happening inside my head felt so real. But it wasn't really happening, but I thought it was happening until it was like waking up from a dream. Then I thought, well, is this any more real? Like how I feel now? Like I can touch my leg and feel it and have all these experiences? Is it any more real than these experiences I kept having in like an awakened dream state? Does that make sense? I know it sounds a little crazy.
Like the dream, you can feel in your dreams, and then you're becoming lucid, so you know you're dreaming. But have you realized that the rules don't apply there yet? Have you tried to fly or levitate or do any of that fun stuff?
No, but I was awake. I wasn't even dreaming.
Are you sure? How positive are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty positive, because then I'd go to write it down, and before I could even write it, and I was sitting up. And then I kept having these epiphanies. Before I could write it down, I was thrown into another one but I don't remember the other ones. I was definitely awake, but I feel like I was tapping into different timelines, and I was just using a dream as like an example of how it seemed. You know how when you're dreaming, things seem real and like they're really happening?
Right.
Yeah. It was weird. I think it had something to do with where I was. Maybe it was the energy there, portal-like energy.
Do you feel that you were at a place that was no place at a time that has no time? And they were collapsing in on you?
Like I was, possibly. I mean, I just started, and I'm not a big crier, I just started bawling, and I was just so thankful to even be able to have this experience.
Nice.
Yeah, it was truly profound. And it was, maybe it had something to do with these energies, but I think it was where I was inside this place. I really felt, it was unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Usually when something like that happens, our vocabulary doesn't do it justice. We can't express
No, that's the
it.
problem. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. That's why the best way I can explain it is to be like having a dream while awake. But it felt so real, and then I immediately had the feeling like, okay, well, if that felt that real, is what I'm experiencing right now in my quote-unquote waking life any more real?
Did you have
Or is it...
the paper? Were you able to read the paper, or was there anything on the paper when you actually woke up, totally wake up? Was there anything written down?
Finally write something down. I can go grab it. It's in my room. I don't know how much I got down because
you don't need to go grab it, hon. I just wanted to know if you were, because sometimes I'll tromp around outside of my body, and I'll go to a light switch and I can't turn it on. That's my go-to place to know that I'm just outside my body, tromping around. But then I'll go to a door and I'll try and turn the door, and I'll, even though I know I can't turn on a light switch, so then I'm like, oh yeah, I can walk through the door. So then I walk through the door. But my curiosity was, in the state that you were in, you may have felt like you were writing something down or doing something, but if there was actually nothing, okay.
I wrote the date and everything. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
So
wow.
I wrote July 22. This is funny because 22222. I'm constantly seeing it. So it's July 22, 2018. It says, the words have escaped me all night, but best I can articulate this is that everything is mental. This quote-unquote reality is all an illusion. I keep experiencing myself in alternate realities, one of which I had a son. The experiences were fleeting, but very real. That's all I wrote. And I wrote it, finally was able to get a grip long enough to write before I was thrown into the next. I don't know. I can't even explain it. It was crazy.
That's usually how it goes. What truth do you want to share with us?
All right, this is interesting. So I came across this woman on YouTube, and she had a direct download, I want to say from Earth, where she realized, you know how so much here is inverted?
Mm-hmm.
And so
everything was inverted and backwards to me. Yep, I'm with you.
Everything is inverted. Well, we're always told that the moon is feminine, when really the moon is masculine, although everything has a masculine and a feminine aspect. But the moon emits and transmits energy. It it tells nature what to do. It affects the cycles of women and the tides. And she said the sun, this is really interesting, the sun actually has a very feminine aspect that we've been taught not to acknowledge, that we don't know. But the sun is actually a portal to creator. And the sun, or soul, S-O-L, S-O-U-L, is all of our souls kind of make up the soul of the sun. So, and it also, I kind of think that the sun, the logos, is also really what Christ is. And then you hear the old ancient Egyptian teachings about the sun actually being the sun. But at the time, so there's a lot of, not to get into the negative aspects, but at the time of eclipses, there are a lot of satanic rituals going on, and they're directed at the sun. And it's a time that we should really be sending the sun our love to counter these rituals. And that people who practice paganism, very well-meaning people, because they don't realize it has been inverted, and their energy when they do these rituals are even being hijacked and being used for a negative purpose. But I think if it resonates, the most important thing is just to send the sun, the soul, our love. It's a direct portal source, and we are all connected to it.
I think we should send unconditional love in every direction to squash out any negativity.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I just feel like people don't realize that it is kind of an androgynous being, and everything has a male and a female aspect, but we're taught that
even us.
Only, even us.
Yes,
exactly.
we have even the hormones in us are, testosterone and estrogen. Every man has that. Every woman has that. We have more in common than that will ever separate us. And it's interesting to me that she said everything was inverted, because that's exactly what I looked at. I'm like, everything's backwards. Everything is inverted. Everything, why was I taught this way? We're taught to seek outside of ourselves when everything we need to know is within ourselves. We're taught,
everything.
Yes. We're taught...
as above, so below.
Yeah, and we are to watch what's going on in the skies using discernment. Back in the day, that's what they used to navigate before all these gizmos and gadgets, so the more they get us away from nature, the more disconnected we are. We're in a time of reconnecting with each other, reconnecting with the earth, reconnecting with the cycles of the sun and the moon, reconnecting and paying attention and sending in unconditional love. But at the same time, where I felt like everything was backwards and inverted, so many people are waking up, and that's exactly how they feel betrayed. I felt I was lied to. I was betrayed. That, why was I taught wrong? Was this some big conspiracy to, just to everybody lied to me? I mean, it was a terrible feeling, terrible. So when we're looking at people, acting out in weird behaviors, they're just not quite knowing what to think, because all the thinking has been done for us. We're told what books to study. We're told what to think, what, who to vote for, what we should do, and, how to believe, and, and we're supposed to follow blindly.
From cradle to grave.
Right. And we're breaking out of that paradigm. And at first you feel lost. And it's wonderful that so many people are coming up and coming forward to talk about this and provide the service to others. And there's a lot of people with channels that they're not trying to get you to follow them. They want you to think for yourself and be the sovereign being. We come together as a gathering of love, questioning things, sharing information with one another, and growing. Not to try. And I am not going to force somebody and tell somebody that my way is the only way, because I've come out of that paradigm. I'm into another one where I see the equality and the limitless potential in everybody. Even those that are doing crazy things, it's a twisting in their mind. We can only have our mind twisted so much before we're going to do something crazy. What's the first thing that happens when somebody when you were a child, when your mom said, don't touch those cookies. I just baked them, don't touch them. As soon as mom leaves the room and you get a chance, you're going to get yourself a cookie. Right?
Yeah.
Makes you want it even more. So as they're telling you, don't do this, don't do that, well, now we're all like looking more. We're like little kids again. And we're looking, we're checking things out, we're finding out who and what we are. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I've really learned not to accept any... So I used to have beliefs, like we all did, and then I learned that everything I believed as a kid is largely completely different now. So what's not to say that if I form new beliefs that they're going to be accurate too. I feel like so I accept nor deny anything unequivocally, and I always think, sure, maybe, and I think there's a little bit of truth in everything, and it's just a matter of how in alignment is that truth to the 0 point or to my soul self. And I always want to have the ability to expand my current understanding of something. And if I form a rigid belief, then I'm not able to do that anymore. Then I have a belief. Well, when you think you know something, then that's it. But as long as I say, I don't know, maybe, and just keep going within and trying to expand more and more and more, and I think, we can only share our perspectives, and each of us have to go within and decide what is true for us. But hopefully nothing is, I just don't think there's any firm truth. It seems like the only truth is at the 0 point, and we're just either more in alignment or less in alignment with that, if that makes sense.
That's,
you know, the
that
things
totally
I think
does,
don't come
because
out the way I want them to.
That was perfect, because you're talking about, 0 point is when you're not judging, you're unconditionally loving, you're not deeming anything good or bad, you're experiencing, you're removing the blinders, your eyes now can see all the way around, you're listening to other people and what their journey is, you're on your own journey, you're not forcing your journey onto somebody else, and you're listening to other people's and gaining or discerning what is truth and what is not, which is a gift in itself. So that's what I got from what you just said. Did I misinterpret?
Yeah, no, that's very true, and I love listening to other people's perspectives, because there's a little bit of truth in all of them, you know?
That's right. And we're going through this together, hand in hand. It's much better
Yeah,
to
and
have
you-
a gathering of council of people to talk to that aren't going to look at you like you're nuts. I mean, because most of the world would look at us like we're crazy. And I'm going to tell you, sometimes we question whether or not we're crazy. But then I look around at these changes and I'm like, are you guys crazy? How could you not see that? I mean, what? Our sun is white. I mean, that is more obvious than anything else. Everybody sees the sun. How could they not know that the sun is white?
Isn't that the sun simulator? Isn't our real sun behind that sun?
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
we still have a real sun up there.
We can't go to the moon, but we could put a sun simulator up there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And
I
about the
think-
moon, too, it's a natural satellite. And, I mean, there's probably a hijacked aspect to the moon as well. But when we tune into it, we need to make sure we're tuning into the divine frequency. The moon still has a divine frequency that we can tune into.
And just like what you said about the sun, think about this, and this is in the Bible. She has made herself ready, the bride. Bride wears all white, right? Well, our sun was orange and now it's white. So the energy is coming through pure, just something to provoke thought. So it's just...
Well, is that referencing the time then? There's so many things in the Bible and the Mayan culture that kind of speaks
correlate
to the times that we're in now.
Yes. Now, I mean, I see correlation. I see correlation in all the different books, but you got to be able to rightly divide and discern. And I think everybody was given a piece. It was all broken apart, and everybody holds a piece within their culture. And when we come together united with love for one another, no matter what the color of your skin, that doesn't matter. What avatar suit we're in does not matter. All that matters.
No, because the
is that we
larger
come
part
together.
of us is in the non-physical. The larger part of us is spirit. We're not our bodies.
Yes, ma'am. That's right. That's right.
What's that word that they use in the Bible? I forget. I just heard it earlier. Like about what they mistake for the end of the world.
Revelations?
What's that word? Yeah, there's another word for it. Apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
I think that
The unveiling.
translates to, yes, the unveiling.
Yes. Yes. So does Revelations, revealing.
Okay. Yeah,
And think
that's
about
kind of what's happening now.
The
Where,
7 seals. Think about the 7 seals, right? And they're cracked open, right? 7 chakras. The promise of God, the rainbow. Our chakras are the rainbow color. Just saying. Provoking thought, And we break those 7 seals and we become awake and aware, and then we're like babies and we need to learn. We need to learn everything all over again, because everything we learned was in error. Not everything, but most of it. It's like a discovery of ourselves again. But I see the similarities in the different cultures and the different things that they're saying, and how it can, correlate to different books when you read them in the proper, context with unconditional love and unconditional forgiveness, things become more clear.
Yes.
I made you quiet. I'm sorry. Did I provoke thought?
No. Yeah. That number 7 too is 7 chakras.
Right.
7 the
Trumpets.
colors of the rainbow. 7 trumpets.
Seals. Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yes, ma'am. And if you read the Revelations, it's revealing. It could be that by giving it the description in different ways throughout the book of Revelations. The trumpets could be one culture, the seals could be another culture, but they aren't supposed to be read like, and this is in my opinion, they're not supposed to be read that, okay, this is going to happen, and then that's going to happen, and then that's going to happen. Lay those books on top of each other and read them each as another perspective of the same vision. He kept having the same vision, and as he was having the same vision, he was writing it down, but it was the same one he was having over and over again. He was just explaining it in different ways by his perspective. Just something to think about.
Yeah, well, I get a little confused because this is another reason why I can't really accept or deny anything, because in some regards I hear, the Bible is allegory, but then there's a lot of truth, it seems like there's in there. But then some say, like, the tree of life and how they show everything from the Bible can fit into this, like, tree of life, and how Adam and Eve, and then there's 2 parts of the brain. I forget because it's very deep, but it's like Hermeticism. Mm-hmm. And then you've got the ancient Egyptian cultures, which speaks of everything that's in the Bible, but in the form of the cosmos. So what is it? And then some people say Jesus really walked the earth, and I believe, there was a Jesus person. I don't know if that was really his name, but they say there is evidence of him. But then you've got this Egyptian stuff where the Christianity is taken from the Egyptian cosmos, and I get so confused, to be honest. I feel like I think too much.
Well, no, you need to think. You need to get your heart and your mind lined out. I mean, trust me, I'm working on it daily. But here's some things to think about. Why would they want to get rid of him? He was a rebel against the religious system. He turned over the money changers, and they even told them that they were worshiping their father Satan, and they were blocking the doorways that they didn't even go in themselves. They were too into the book that they did not seek from within to, when he had went through his journey, he knew what was going on. I think he never meant to be worshipped. If you could find an area in the Bible
definitely,
that says that he demanded worship of the people, I would be shocked.
Now the Bible, you can be like me.
That's right.
He's no better than anyone else. We can be like him, and that we don't need to go to church to find God. That God is within, not without.
That's right. That's right. And see, we've been so busy looking without that we forgot that he's been with us the entire time. It's just time to wake up to it, and other people call it different things.
Yeah, it's so confusing though, because all of space is within too. As within, so without.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's so big, you can't even begin to wrap your head around it. And the more the more we think we know, I think the more you know you know nothing.
Well,
like,
and
the more
think
you
about
know, the more
this.
questions you have.
Have you tried to do a heartfelt manifestation?
Heartfelt manifestation.
Manifesting from your heart.
A little bit, not lately.
Okay.
So
you probably are doing it, and it's in your nature. You are part of the creative. And the reason I was asking is Mel's Table Talk. She was able to do an experiment, and as we're finding out what's going on in the micro, like what is going on within us, in our hearts, in our minds, when we get it lined out, happens around us in the macro. So we see beautiful skies, everything is plush and beautiful, She had a flower bloom at the top of a tree that shouldn't have flowers. These changes that are going on all around us, these things, that is our actual true nature. It's been the subconscious on autopilot, and then, people putting these bondages or put us into servitude so we would create the world they want. Well, we're kind of taking that back, and we're creating something of equality and beauty and plenty for all, because that's what this place truly is. We're taking her back to her roots. So whether you're conscious of it or not, just realize you are doing it.
I definitely try to manifest from the heart, for sure. And I feel more in service to others than in service to self. I do. I feel like, I
already knew that.
But you, thank you. You mentioned something that reminds me that everything, like we are the microcosm of the macrocosm. Like everything that we have within our body is within the cosmos. Like our eyes are portals to the sun, even our hair, which is also extensions of our nervous system, but which are also cells, so like the cells in the sun, and it goes so deep, and I don't have good words for it, but it's everything. We're the microcosm of the macrocosm.
Mm-hmm.
There's another version of us in the cosmos, I guess.
Some would call that their higher self.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, or soul self.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Somebody mentioned to me that there's an exact replica of Earth on the other side of the sun, but we never can see it because it's on the same orbit. It's always on the opposite end, which was interesting. I watched a movie about that, and once they made a connection with the other Earth, and this was in a movie I watched, but once they made connection with this other Earth, then it broke the synchronicities and the tied together that they were, and then they started doing things differently than each other. But in the meantime, before they had made any kind of contact or even awareness of each other, everything they were doing, people they were married to, everything that was going on was completely in sync with what was going on with the other Earth. Both Earths were totally in sync until they discovered each other, which was really interesting. Really interesting. But
where did you hear this? I wouldn't mind learning a little more about it.
Liera, and she's going to be coming back on.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, she's going to be coming back on when I come back from my trip. We've got Armor Up, Liera, I think Cowboy, Layered Life, quite a few people wanting to come up and share what they know, and so others can listen and grow. And they are all from different walks of life, different perspectives, and that's what I want. I want people to step up and tell their story, unity and diversity, because there's, like I said, with when I was talking earlier, there could be 10 qualities about somebody, but there's one that you really like and 9 that you don't. But if you focused on the one that you liked, the 9 will fall away. And that person could become your best friend.
Well, they're just mirrors of us anyhow.
That's right.
If you take quantum physics, that approach, there's only one particle in all of creation, and that particle is vibrating at such a fast speed that it appears next to itself and next to itself and next to itself into infinity. And that's how we can start to manifest better timelines, is by raising our vibration. And when you raise your vibration, you start to attract more that is a like vibration. But all of the things that are appearing to be outside of you is just a reflection of that one infinite particle mirroring back to itself. So if there's something you don't like about someone, like you said, there's 9 things you don't like about someone, but one thing you do. If you focus on that one thing, that will raise your vibration, and you can start bringing out more of that which you like about the person. But anyhow, everybody, everything, people, places, things are all a reflection of who we are. And that's why we're all one, because
And can we not see?
we're just reflections of each other.
Can we not see that we have more in common than will ever divide us? Isn't it plain to see that? We love our children. We love our our creature comforts, our homes. Some people prefer to be off the grid. That's great, but we all need to eat. We walk. We use our hands. We have more in common. We see through our eyes. We hear through our ears. We enjoy good music, different music, but for different people. But music. We enjoy a lot of the same things. There's just so much more in common that we have than these belief structures or these boxes that we have been placing ourselves in or been placed into and decided to make it a comfy little space for ourselves until we crawl out of it. And once you can see that we have more in common and that everybody holds a precious piece to this puzzle, all of that, those 9 other qualities fall away. They just fall away because it's beautiful. We see the beauty in everything.
Yeah, and it's a choice. You can choose what you want to focus on.
Yes, ma'am. It is always
You
a
can
choice.
choose it. But I do think based on the vibration that we're holding, a lot of times we are pulling out certain qualities of someone, or they're just reflecting to us where we're at that moment. So if you raise your own vibration, just by virtue of doing that, you're going to see more of the qualities you want to in somebody else.
And what you'll notice is that people kind of will disappear from your life when they are not meshed up with you. They're not comfortable around you anymore, so they kind of keep their distance. It's weird. It's very odd.
No, I agree, but I got rid of, I've made a lot of changes over the last 10 years. There was a period that I stopped hanging out with anybody. I was consciously changing. I knew that I'd rather be in my own company than poorly accompanied. And over the last few years, just last night we had spirit night at my friend's house where everybody brought a teaching or a gift to share with people. I brought my singing bowl. A friend who has studied with Peruvian shamans, brought her gift. A friend of ours who's a medium and helped find missing people for the cops did a reading. Another woman brought her gong it resonates with Mercury, and we just for hours shared our gifts. And I have another group that we meet together and have a spiritual group, and then the ones that I have my sweat lodges with the Lakota practicing people. And I'm thinking how blessed I am now that I purposely, it was a little lonely at times when I stopped hanging out with people and chose to take a different path. But I was just thinking yesterday and today when I was talking to my mom, how fortunate I am to be where I'm at now and hanging out with spiritually minded people, and it was worth going through those changes. And I removed myself from the people, and now I feel like I'm starting to. I think we all do that. My biggest intention from the heart is to attract people that are spiritually. Have spiritual mindsets.
Yeah, and we go through that period because we have to take that time to get to know ourselves. You have to know yourself. I even turned the television off for over a year. No TV, no nothing. Just spent that time seeking.
Common. Mine's in the basement.
And I hardly ever watch it. It's just there if I want it. But I just
it's called programming for a reason.
That's right. And I don't watch the news. Anything that makes me feel small and insignificant, I don't watch it. I think I can glance at it here and there, but I won't buy into that anymore because we are what makes this place go round and round. We are the ones, if we give our energy over, whether we're hoodwinked or it's done to us through programming and things like that. It's still taking our energy and directing it in a way that will keep certain people creating the world that they want, instead of allowing us by nature to create the world that is truly within each and every one of us.
Yeah, it's an inclusion-based universe, so whether it's wanted or unwanted, you include it in your vibration when you give your attention to it. So watching the news, I mean, that's just so depressing. But then I'm torn. Should I know what's going on in the world? But I don't. For me, I just don't. I don't want to include it in my vibration. I want to create. I would rather create.
Well, the mirror that's around you is what's going on around you. If you're not seeing it, you know, my brother called me totally freaking out because there was some huge fire here where I live. I'm like, I don't even see a puff of smoke. Where are you getting this? Well, it's on the news. From that moment on, I was like, stop watching the news. That just stop, because they're, you know, they are putting out these programs and for people to manifest it. So we need to take care of what we take into our ears, into our eyes, you know, into our mind. It's fabrication, and we need to look around what's going on around you, and that's the world. Okay, the people around you, what's going on around you, that's the world. So there's no need to know what's going on other places when governments are declaring wars against governments and all that stupid stuff. Background noise is what I call it, where we have more say so, and they know this. There are a group of people that know this. They know they need us in order to do what they're wanting to accomplish. And we're pulling away from that.
That's why they have to try so hard, because there's more of us. There's a handful of them, so they have to keep trying harder and harder and harder to keep us in fear and to keep us from being our true divine self and creating our reality. But to your point, more and more people are starting to realize this, thankfully.
Yes, but it is getting a little chaotic here lately. It's just like, what's going on, people? You know, I mean, at some point we all need to become adults, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's part of it. And, you know, they always talked about in lots of cultures, and even in the biblical, to go to the elders. Why do you think they would tell you to take them to the elders? Well, most elders have been through this refinement process, and they have a lot of wisdom, they have a lot of understanding, they know a little bit more about how this world works, they have a lot of experience under their belt. I'm not saying that all elders are awake, but what I'm saying is there's a reason for that, because of they have this profound understanding. So it's a maturity thing. Now, being an elder doesn't put an age stamp on it. You could be a spiritual elder at 30 years old. Depends on when you decided to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
Homogenizing fools saying Bueller. I did turn the
Bueller's Day Off.
I turned the phone ringer off because we're having a conversation. But did we go over an hour?
Look at my phone.
Oh my gosh, we did.
15 minutes.
We went over an hour. This has been an amazing conversation. Does anybody?
You're really easy to talk with.
Well, thank you. I'm not scary. I'm just like everybody else, just like you, just like. And there's a wonderful group that I love to go in and chat with, and it's called Flame, and they're a wonderful group of people. And we go through our growing pains and retractions, and then growth spurts, and then retractions. It's a normal progression until we all get there. You know, we're all on our journeys together, and it's just wonderful. If anybody wants to come, if anybody wants to call, speak up. quickly, or I'm gonna just finish up with Darla Dawn 222, and we'll just end the show.
Yeah, I don't want to monopolize all your time, so if somebody else wants to talk, I'd love to listen.
It's wonderful, this conversation. Can I speak? See how? Oh, it went down another degree. It's 96 degrees in here. No, it's been an absolute wonderful conversation. Time flies, when you're having, deep conversations. I haven't even really paid attention to the chat, but Amber's in there, and she wields that wrench really, really well. She also has a channel, and she does card readings and meditations and things like that too. And she just put in the into the chat invitation to the Discord Flame room for anybody who wishes to join. So that is there. And
I'll check
guys,
it out. Hi, Amber.
Make sure you hit that thumbs up.
I'm going to do that right now.
Did you have anything else you wanted to add before we sew this up?
I don't think so. I'm sure I'll think of a whole bunch of things as soon as we hang up, but maybe I'll get to call in another day.
And you, my email address, I'm always accessible there. And you could set up a hangout in there, a personal hangout, and we can talk there. So I'm approachable. I want to get to know everybody. And we're all in this together. And I want to thank you for your phone call. And let me see, how do I want to...
Thank you so much for chatting with me. What is your email address, or do you have it in your show information?
Yeah, it's in my show more notes. I want
to...
Yeah, we've been talking for 53 minutes and 14 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
And the call-in shows are meant for this. People call in and let's talk about things. Let's put our ideas out there. Let's put our thoughts out there. Let's put what we're going through out there. Share our journeys, share our paths, because you really don't know when you're sharing that how many other people it brings comfort to know that they're not alone. Like, they're having these fantastic dream episodes like what you described. They're going through these processes just like you described, and it brings comfort, so much comfort to them, and that's what it's about.
Do you ever have a show on dreams? Because next time I talk to you, I could tell you about some really crazy, amazing dreams.
I have a whole sequence on dreams in my playlists. And I am open to, if you want to come on as a guest on interviews with the topic of dreams.
I'd love to.
We can set that up. Just email me. But like I said, I'll be out of town for a week. So, it'll have to be after then. And it's always first come, first serve. So I don't care if you've got 50,000 subscribers or 2 subscribers or no subscribers. It's first come, first serve. So if you tell me a date that you're available.
Oh, yeah, I don't have a channel. I mean, I have a few subscribers just because of the content I share maybe, but I don't no. I just love the topic of dreams, and I've had some pretty profound dreams, like off-planet dreams.
Me too. Oh, looking forward to that conversation.
Yeah, me too. I hope you have a good time with your mom, too. I will definitely send some love.
Thank you very much, and you have yourself a good night.
Thank you. You as well, Michelle. Thanks for taking my call.
No, thank you for calling. Bye-bye.
Oh, absolutely. Bye-bye.
Okay, guys. That was pretty awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I thoroughly did. Amber, I do think that I have figured out a way for you to be able to call but we'll do that when I come back through in the email area. You can set up a little hangout in there, like a mini hangout, just me and you, and then you call me and then it patches it right through, so we don't have to worry about those international charges. So you guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe. I love you all so much. Again, I will be out of pocket, down with my mom, taking care of her. And I may drop some videos on how she's doing and things like that. My email address is found in the show more notes, and that's the easiest and best and fastest way to contact me. So yeah, everybody have yourself a wonderful, beautiful week. Yeah, I think I'll be gone at least 7 days. So I'm leaving tomorrow night. The surgery is on Tuesday morning. I think she's gonna be in the hospital for 2 days, and then whatever amount of time it takes for her to get up on her feet again will be how long I am gone. I love you all. Thank you for coming by. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We're all on this journey together. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I love you all. See you real soon. Bye-bye.